just going to ask you some questions about the city and the country. I would like you to give your honest thoughts and opinions. I will not take offence at any answer you may give. There is also no wrong or right answers. Also, throughout this interview, when I use the word country, I'm referring primarily to remote or rural New South Wales or other like areas. Okay. Were you brought up in the country or in a city area?
I would say a city area.
Have you ever been to remote New South Wales?
Not remote New South Wales, but remote places in Tasmania.
What do you think of when I say the word country? What is your mental picture or image of the country?
That's a good question. So I think of bushland, probably fairly green, lots of animals, wildlife. But I also think of communities, because my family lives in rural parts of Tasmania, so like smaller communities where you have let's say 70 or more houses, not very many people, 2,000 people living in one area.
So what do you associate with the country?
What do I associate? Probably farming and industry, but also wildlife. But I guess family as well, because I have family who live in the country. So,
do you think of the country as disadvantaged?
It depends on what you think they're disadvantaged in.
Mm-hmm.
I would say no and yes, because they can be disadvantaged by pure isolation. So if you're talking about community disadvantages, so sometimes schooling is disadvantaged because there's less people, therefore the school's not so big, can't offer as much teachers or range of subjects, or same thing for communities, they can't offer the same amount of resources because of the sheer size.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of things a lot of country areas in Tasmania now have the NBN network, which means they have faster internet than in the city, so I don't think that's a very big disadvantage. But it also depends, I think sometimes the country environment / smaller local environments are better for family and wholesome thinking rather than the busy daily life of the city.
Do you associate dirtiness or mud with country life?
No. Not really. Yes, there's dirt there, but I would say cities are dirtier in a sense that the pollution and the rubbish and sheer the gross stuff everywhere.
Do you associate hardship with country life?
I would say yes, because I think a lot of country life, if we're talking about farming, is dependent on the weather, and drought and different seasons have a lot of impact on that. So I guess hardship comes from that aspect, but also in a day, in an age where a lot of people are moving away from farming or the country lifestyle, it's putting a lot of pressure on the people who have stayed because they're very strained in the things and resources they have, mm-hmm. or parents no longer have their children to help them in farming areas because their children have gone to the cities.
So in general, what is your perspective of country life? So you may describe people, work, environment, landscape, etc.
I would say it's fairly modern, even though it's still simplistic sometimes. But I guess it depends. There's a lot of different varieties of country life. There's my grandma who lives at home and knits all day and helps people and lives in a community, but she just happens to live in the country. She would do the same things as if she lived in the city or anywhere else, but that's just where she grew up, therefore that's where she lives. I guess other people in that community, a lot of people do work as truck drivers and different things, so I would say I don't picture it as a whole bunch of people on farms, doing not much / getting dirty every day. I don't think that's a very unrealistic reality of what the country actually is.
Mm-hmm. Are you generally annoyed when it rains?
Am I generally annoyed when it rains? No, I like the rain. It's annoying when it causes issues like flooding and things, but then that's like I guess issues like reason like council issues and things with society and the way that it's built up. But general rain, I don't think that you can't be annoyed about a weather thing. That's like I could spend my life being annoyed about whether it's sunny or so.
Around what temperature do you classify as a hot day?
Oh, it depends on where you come from.
To you.
To me, probably anything over 22.
When I say the word city, what is your mental picture or image of the city?
City. Well, a city is just a group of people, so I don't know. But generally, city means big, large volume of people. So I think of like large buildings, but also a lot of traffic. Maybe concrete. I think of concrete.
So what do you associate with the city?
What do I associate with the city? Like workplaces, people, business, shopping, like economy.
Do you think of the city as disadvantaged?
I